This is me being closer to the mic so you guys can hear the audio and see if it sounds any better if I'm closer. What's up, beautiful creators? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're talking all things audio. Previously in my last video, I talked about my audio setup shooting behind the scenes with Anne Hathaway, and a lot of people were asking me to get a little bit more in depth of what that audio setup looked like. And so I thought it would be a cool idea to just share with you all of the audio mics that I use and what the audio setups are for those particular projects, because every project is different and every camera is different, and both always require a certain type of audio setup. So in this video, we're gonna get right into it. The first audio setup that I do want to talk about is the audio that I am using right now that I pretty much use for all my YouTube content, and that is the XSW-D Lavalier kit from Sennheiser. So they sent me this 2 years ago. I have a video on YouTube about it and I fell in love with them. And ever since then, when I want to use a live, such as now for like a quick talking head for myself personally, not professionally, but just for YouTube or, quick social media content, or, even if I'm working with a client, but it's not like overly crazy and it's just like, hey, I need to dish out a social media video, I might use this because I feel like the setup is so simple. That I love these mics. So as you can see, I have the transmitter here. I have the mic that it comes with connected, and then I have the receiver on the camera that connects directly to the camera through 3.5 millimeter input. So with this kit, it did come with two cables. It came with your cable to a TRS cable that goes into your camera, but it also came with a TRS-S or a TRS, one of those. It came with to plug into your mobile device. So it was really made to be mobile, which is why I love it, because they're so small, and it also came with a pouch for you to just put it all in, your mic, your transmitter, your receiver, and your cables, to just put this in a small pouch. So it's very mobile for you to take with you wherever you're going. So it's super simple. Literally, there is one button on the whole transmitter receiver itself, and that is the button to turn it on. And once you turn it on, it turns green, or it blinks green. The minute that they sync to each other, the transmitter and receiver, it stays green. That lets you know that they're synced. And if it needs to be charged, it turns red and orange, and that lets you know that it needs to be charged. You have to charge a USB-C, so it does have a USB-C input. And outside of that, the only thing I would say that is bad about it is it only really gives you 5 hours of running time if you're like consistently using it. And also, you really can't control it. It goes directly into your camera, and so you have to control it based on the amount of controls you have on your camera. But other than that, I really love it. If you like my YouTube videos and how they sound, it's because of this little small setup. I don't like to have a big setup when it comes to YouTube. I think it's overkill, and I also don't like to have audio that is separate from my video because I don't like the extra work in post. The second audio setup that I want to talk about is also Sennheiser. When I realized I had a lot of Sennheiser gear, and that is the Sennheiser MKE400 cardioid condenser. I hope I said that right. Don't judge me. But I really like this one because, one, it is super cardioid, which means it tries to get the audio that's directly in front. I really like using a shotgun mic when I'm doing vlogs because, of course, it may not just be me in, the video. I did a vlog where my uncle was talking and my mom was talking, and I wanted to get all of that, so I wanted to have a good shotgun mic. It's small. It has a wind filter internally, so you don't have to worry about that, even though it has a dead cat on it. Okay, so I just switched out the lav mic and I put on the MKE400 so you all can kind of just see how it sounds. Now, I am a little far away, so it might not sound its best like it normally does when I'm vlogging with it. This is me being closer to the mic so you guys can hear the audio and see if it sounds any better if I'm closer.
Look, Brittany, I got on that pony, thinking that pony gonna let me ride again, while everybody out there pony booked me over the fence.
Normally you would want to use this if you can still be a little close to your talent, or if you're using it as a boom and you can be a little closer to the mouth. Something like this isn't ideal if you're super far away for the shotgun mic. But a couple of other things I like with this mic is, one, it does have up to 100 hours of battery life. So you don't have to feel like you shot one full day of a vlog and you already have to recharge, replace batteries, do whatever. But you can kind of like keep the same thing rolling for a couple of projects before you feel like it needs to be recharged. And then, of course, the last thing is it has a low cut filter. So because I am far away, I did play with the 3-step gain control. So right now I'm at a plus 20 decibel, and I added the low cut filter, which should hopefully help it sound clear and crisp, even though I am far away and it might not sound like I'm close. You should be able to hear me clearly, even though it's not the best sound. But let me know what you guys think about it. Again, I really do like this mic for really run and gun, documentary style, run and gun vlogging. But you really do want to make sure if you're going to be using this audio mic that you're going to be a little closer to the subject at hand, even if that's you. So that is the MKE 400. The third audio setup I want to talk about, which is my last Sennheiser audio setup, and it is the Sennheiser EW 112P G4 Live Kit. Now, before I even bought this, I was always renting it out when I was doing solo filmmaking and doing a lot of documentaries where I was doing a lot of talking heads, and I wanted to have a professional-based live setup with way more controls, because at the time I was using the Zoom H5, so I was using a recorder to give me even more control to make sure I was having clear and clean audio, crisp audio. So you can do a lot more in the actual transmitter and receiver, and it gives you those options. So I really like using this, and these are industry standards. So you're probably gonna, if you do hire a sound engineer on set, they're probably gonna be using mics like this to put on the talent. They're not gonna be using Rode Goes or, you know, even my XSW-D lavs. They're gonna be using like lavs that you can control, that can connect to whatever recorder that you're using. And I wanted to have some kind of audio that was industry standard when I was getting paid to go and shoot as a solo filmmaker, talking head shots. So I really like using these because you have way more control. But also it is XLR input. So this is the first audio setup that I have that is an XLR input, and it's great. So most times I'll use this on my Sony Fx3, or if you have a Sony Fx6 and you want to use it through XLR. If you have, I just feel like XLR, the cabling is a little bit more trustworthy sometimes than a 3.5 millimeter cables. So I use, not only can you use it for interviews, but that's what I use to plug into the soundboard to get that audio from the actors. So because it is XLR input, most people on set, or even if you're a wedding videographer, you go to the DJ and you ask them, and most times they have it, hey, can I plug my XLR audio setup into your soundboard to get audio? So if the best man or the maid of honor is talking, you're getting that audio from the mic directly into your camera, which is great. That's the same thing I did on set, shooting the behind the scenes. I plugged it into the soundboard and I was able to actually get that audio directly into my camera. Okay, this is the Sennheiser EW 112 G4s that I'm testing on the Sony Fx3 because it only takes the XLR. Testing. Let me know how this one sounds to you all. Again, I'm only focusing on how clean and crisp it sounds. This is with the Lavalier EW G4 Lavs from Sennheiser. Let me know what you think.
My name is Christina, and cooking is my safe space. I grew up in the kitchen actually with my dad. My dad is a professional chef, and it's my way to stay connected with him since we live on the opposite ends of the country.
The last audio setup that I want to talk about is going to be finally Sony. I have a Sony shotgun mic, and it is the Sony ECM BG1. So I bought this when I ended up buying the Sony Fx3 because I wanted to have, I guess I just wanted to have a Sony mic on a Sony camera. And I actually really do enjoy this mic. I think it's really great. It is phantom powered, so it doesn't come with any batteries. The only, audio setup I have that doesn't come with any batteries, and it's XLR input. So with my audio handle on my Fx3, I just connect the phantom power, and I just connect the mic, and boom, it's ready to go, and I can control mostly everything on the audio handle. So I really like using this, and it's also super cardioid, and it gives really good audio. And I actually used this when I was shooting a lot of my Sony for the Women King as well, but I definitely used it shooting the behind the scenes with Anne Hathaway. So in my previous video, you see me have 2 setups on that camera, my Sony Fx3, and not only was I using the live kit to connect to the soundboard to get the actual audio from the talent, but I was using this Sony shotgun mic to get crew talking as well on a different channel. So I didn't have to feel like I needed to undo one to do another. I was getting both on different channels so they can use either or. When we say action, they're getting the talent. When we say cut, I'm getting the director say cut, which is great, especially for behind the scenes. You want to have good audio. So being able to have that versatility with both, because you get 2 inputs with the FX3, was so great. Testing. This is the Sony mic. I am testing. Let me know how y'all think it sounds. This is the Sony mic. I'm not too far away from it. Again, I can control this with the audio handle on the Sony FX3, but let me know just kind of like as far as clarity and crispiness, how it sounds to you all. Those are pretty much all 4 of my audio setups. Again, it really depends on what the project is. If I'm shooting on an actual set, doing behind the scenes, I would probably use, and I'm shooting with my Sony, I would use my Sony shotgun, and as well as probably my Sennheiser EW 112G4 lives. If I'm doing vlogs and YouTubes, I'm going to probably either use my Sennheiser shotgun mic or my Sennheiser XSW-D lives. It's more simple. I'm not trying to do the most. And the cool thing about all of these mics is that depending on what camera I use, I do not have to have separate audio. They all sound great. I've never had an issue with them, and I love them. So if you do want to learn a little bit more about them, I would suggest really doing your research on YouTube to figure out what works best for you. But I just found that these work best for me. A lot of these I could kind of go back and forth and use for work, use for myself. It really just depends. But those are pretty much all of my audio setups. When it comes to my Blackmagic, I can interchange. When it comes to my Canon, I can interchange. And when it comes to my Sony, I can interchange. So get you an audio setup that you can interchange. That is the gist of what this video is. But they all sound great. And I love them. So let me know if you guys have any more questions when it comes to my audio setups, and I will really try my best to help you out. And let me know what you think about this video. This year is the year of consistency. So thank you all for watching the first video. Love you all. Leave a comment below and make sure that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel. This is going to be every week. I will be releasing a new video. So love y'all. See y'all in the next video. Bye.